marking languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morförrätter än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, ça, ah c'est ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça. Sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux, surtout Shogi en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues.
10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Facile.
Sì, ecco, la gente, è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo, io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi, dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io.
I buy a computer or what? And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, but sounds vaguely like hogun and the hok in hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that appears it is the exact same kind of character.
Okay, let me see.
Un chasseur, ça son chassé. Ses chassés sont son chien de chasse.
Der dicke Dach.
Okay, der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach, drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt.
Hola y bienvenidos al directo de Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Yo soy Elisa, traductora, escritora y editora y comunicadora social con más de 20 idiomas de trabajo. Y aquí vamos a estar jugando videojuegos, sobre todo GeoGuessr, y hablando de idioma, la mejor forma de aprenderlo y caleta más.
Zwei Zwetschgenzweigen zwitscherten zwei tschechische Schwalben. Tres tristes tigres tragaban trigo en un trigal en tres tristes trastos.
Oh, I see. This is Diche Ishai Fui, which means do you want food? But yeah, are you hungry? That kind of thing. How are the boys? Cocine da boy. Posso Milao. Pote. When is it? Proteine. Protopulo. In the designated chicken eating area, obviously.
Okay, still 3 times I have to defeat him. And I don't have a whole lot of health left.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Monsieur. Livre. Liwe, livre.
Bucks
Mustan kissan paksut posket.
Maciej.
Yeah.
Ja. Sy. Vysoký. Maciej. Proč? Níte. Počkej. A. Sy.
Track 6.
Aspri Petra xesas pri apton ilioxexas proteri. Aspri Petra xesas pri apton ilioxesas proteri.
Ben coginio panas.
Oh boy.
Ad ferad verda ferra ferda vetri.
Jakob. Hefed.
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 Hefed. Hefed. Hek. Hek. Hek.
Саша по шоссе.
А Саша по шоссе несла сушку на счастье и сосала сушку. А Саша по шоссе несла сушку на счастье и сосала сушку.
Moline.
Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I'm Elise, translator, writer, and editor with 20 working languages, and this is a stream where we're going to be playing some Shogi and talking about learning Japanese and just languages and language learning in general. So, let me just get a couple of things set up that I need to, and we will get started. I was thinking, before I start playing more Shogi, that might not be a bad idea to look at just a quick video on exactly how Shogi works for people who are not familiar with it, so you can see what I'm actually doing here. So I think we'll start with that. This is a video from a channel I've never heard of called Triple S Games, called How to Play Shogi brackets Japanese Chess. Dropping the link in chat, and let's go.
Shogi, also known as Japanese chess, how to play. The object of the game is to capture your opponent's king. Lay out the board. Each player sets out their pieces so the pointed ends face
Okay.
left and the rook on the second space in from the right. On the bottom row, going from left to right, the order is lance, knight, silver general, gold general, king, gold general, silver general, knight, lance. The opposing king then turns alts. The king can move one space in any direction. The gold general can move one space in any direction except diagonally
Okay, here we go. Here how the pieces move.
backwards. The silver general
Ying.
can move one space diagonally in any direction or one space forward. The knight can jump one space forward.
Okay. Which is like a nerfed knight. Because in chess, the knight can move in sort of an L pattern, 2 plus 1 perpendicular to the 2 in any direction, whereas the keima can only go forward.
And one space diagonally forward. The knight is the only piece allowed to jump over other pieces in its path. The lance can move any number of free spaces forward. The bishop can move any number of free spaces in any diagonal direction. The rook can move any number of free spaces forward, backwards, left, or right. A pawn can only move one space forward.
And this is an important distinction from chess, because in chess, a pawn can move diagonally to capture, and it can move 2 spaces forward when you've got when it's starting in its starting position.
Each player has a promotion zone on the farthest third of the board, the 3 rows that their opponent's pieces.
And here's another important difference too, because every piece promotes except for kin, because it already is kin. Like, and you don't need to go all the way to the other end to do it. Yeah, if you get to anywhere in these shaded zones, you can promote, and they promote to different things. The promotion, you just flip. If you have a physical board, you flip the pieces, and you have the promotion, and that changes how they move to a certain extent.
Started on. If a piece
In most
moves
cases,
into,
adding
out of,
mobility.
or within the promotion zone, the player may choose to promote the piece at the end of the turn. Promotion is indicated by turning the piece over after a move, showing its promoted value, typically the red side. The promoted silver general, promoted knight, promoted lance, and the promoted pawn can move as a gold general, 1 space in any direction except diagonally backwards.
And this is why kin, what they're calling gold general, doesn't promote, because it just would promote into itself.
The promoted bishop can move any number of free spaces
Ryu.
in any diagonal direction, or 1 space forward, backwards,
I mean,
left,
Uma.
or right. The promoted rook can
Ryu.
move any number of free spaces forward, backwards, left, or right, or 1 space in any diagonal direction. If a piece reaches the far side of the board so that it would no longer have a legal move on future turns, it must be promoted. Pieces remain promoted until they are captured. Your pieces may not share a space with another piece, but instead capture the first opponent's piece they move into. Captured pieces
This
are
is
removed
just
from
like
the board
chess in this
and
regard.
placed on the capturer's side of the table in plain view of both players. On your turn, instead of moving a piece, you may choose to add one of the pieces you have captured onto any vacant space on the board.
Then this is what makes shogi in many ways much more challenging than chess, because you have to take it into account that the other player can drop a piece that's not on the board onto the board and completely mess your situation up.
This is called dropping a piece. The piece is always dropped with its unpromoted value face up. You may not drop a pawn onto a column which already contains one of your unpromoted pawns.
It would cause traffic jams.
But you are allowed to if that pawn was promoted. A pawn may not be dropped to give immediate checkmate. However, other pieces may be dropped to give immediate checkmate. No piece may be dropped into a space from which it will have no possible future moves. If you drop a piece on the promotion zone, your piece does not get promoted until it moves on a future turn. When your king is able
Okay.
to be captured during your opponent's next turn, it is called being in check. When your king
Ute.
is in check, you must protect it and get it out of check. If it is impossible to save
And again, I mean, this is totally like chess.
the king, then it is called checkmate.
Sume.
The first player to checkmate their opponent's king wins. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so just to give anyone who's not familiar with shogi, which I imagine a lot of the people in in chat rather, are not familiar with, some idea of exactly how any of this works. And with that, gonna get started. Taikyoku 10 分, playing 10-minute games. connection problems. Tsushim Fucho. Nande? Try again. Oh. Okay, this is acting really strange. It's saying that there's a connection problem when there are no connection problems. Let's have another go. Okay, this is looking better. Hello, Badger, how you doing? Okay, 5点になった, so I'm second. Yosh. Shikenbisha. One thing that is challenging about shogi as opposed to chess is there is no easy castling. You actually have to physically move the king into a spot where it can be surrounded by other pieces. So the goal here is going to be to promote my hisha, which behaves like a rook. Ah, okay, yeah. Kakukuka. Okay. No. Ah, okay, that isn't great. Okay, oh. So hidoku mo naiんだね. Axel. Okay, that was a misclick. A very irritating misclick. Oh god, that was not a misclick, that was just a blunder. Can't believe I just did that. That was, like... That is the Shogi version of the Botez Gambit, basically.
けないんだけど。This is why this is actually such a nice structure. Annoyingly, that my kaku is trapped. Oh, but hey. Sometimes the plunders go more than one way. Ah, shit. But I think it's too late. This should be... Yep, that is. Heidelka. Gonna have another go. That was really not my best. Okay. I'm up first. Genshibugin Taisei. Okay. King is relatively safe. Okay, that's not great. That's just gonna keep repeating over and over again. There we go, that'll work. Not doing too bad on time. books. I did not see that that kaku had been moved to where it had been moved to. Let's see if we can find some compensation for that. Oh, damn. Fundoshi no kei da ze. Oh, that was terrible. Okay. I was doing so well last night too. Okay. これで
試験飛車
じゃあ片身の囲いを作ってなんか
片身の額
ああこれでもう原子棒銀は しようできるでしょうね。Okay. Not sure that this is actually good for my opponent here, but we shall find out soon enough, I suppose. $5枚のフンを持ち駒にしてた、したんだな。そこ初めて見たよこれ。フがそこについたからそこフ。Okay, another not great scenario here. But between having to trade off my Hisha and having to trade off a Gin, I think I will always take the Gin. Of course, the ideal is not to end up in that situation to begin with.
Not too bad. I had a little bit of a frustrating day with composing. Just mild technological annoyances. Other than that, pretty good. Okay. Chladný sklidný. It's annoying when you are trying to find, there's like a function you know exists, you've used it before, but it's been a very long time since you used it, and somehow, no matter where you look, it isn't there. And that is kind of what I've been dealing with over the past couple hours before I came on. Just a day of mild frustrations. Okay. That could have gone better. Maybe change this up a little bit. Okay, what's the point of that? Okay, this is kind of aggressive. I don't know if it's actually good or not.
It could be aggressive and bad, but we will only know that after time has finished telling us. I may be able to just trap this Kaku. Kaku をちょっと罠にはめて、それなら勝ち目はなくはないんですね。玉の安全の観点からすると、あんまりいい状態とは言えないんだけど、絶好調とは言い難いね。だけど、くそ。I'm gonna just trade everything off. And then maybe we have something to salvage here. Okay, that was not great actually. That sucked. Okay, but I'm not completely without options here though, at least. Okay. Also, ungreat. Distinctly ungreat. And I think still possibly semi-salvageable? Okay. What's going on? I do have... I'm not completely without options here. I'm just mostly without options. There are some things I can probably still manage. Oh, thank you. There we go. That gives me some options. Okay, now I have something I can work with. That's the wrong... That isn't the piece I was trying to put in. Damn it. This is just a comedy of errors today. Shogi Fasa. Wow. Okay. There's always the next time. Well,
対局開始
ちょっとデカと変えてな。Okay. Oh, damn. Okay, let's at least get my king out of the way. Sorry.
Okay, what are we doing here? I think a moment. We're trying to preserve options. Okay, now we might get some attacking chances in here. Okay. That's giving me something to work with.
攻撃ができたぞ。Welcome back. Okay, finally some attacking chances have materialized. Oh, that was a long losing streak there. Okay, and just in time for a little bio break. Yeah, 今はしないんだけど、達成率。I mean, I haven't been doing all that. Wow. Wait a second. The person I just played has won 172,138 games and lost 414. Wow, okay, they've been playing quite a lot. I have won 104 and lost 122, which I have to say, not too bad considering how little I actually play. Nearly 50-50. Oh, okay. But going on to break on a high note. Back in quick bio break. Back in a few. Hopefully with 100% less hiccups. Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital es
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okuladayım. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is sword, and that also means elephant.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, ça, ah c'est ça, che c'est ça, non sa, c'est ça. Sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyper Polyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux, surtout Shogi en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues.
10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Ah sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo. Io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io.
I buy a computer or quack, and here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, quack sounds vaguely like full moon.
And I'm back, and I have to say, when you notice the sheer number of games that some of these people have played, you feel a little bit better about losing to them. I mean, that's 500,000 games. Like, how do you find the time to play 500,000 10-minute shogi games? You have to have been doing this for quite a while. So, not bad. Okay, and with that little bit of wind in my sails, I think I'm gonna play a little bit more. Maybe not get my ass kicked this time. Yui-chan. Okay. I'll also say I'm a little bit happier with It's interesting, this is the second time where it's like on stream I've been getting my ass kicked and then I just change openings and then I'm doing better all of a sudden. Let's see if that continues. One of the other challenges as a chess player with Shogi is that the diagonals aren't the same. Like, it's a 9x9 board instead of an 8x8 board, and the result of that is the diagonals are at a sharper angle. And so it's much easier to just overlook. An attack that's coming at you diagonally. Okay. Okay, we can promote. そしてふんどし効果もあってさ、you know, got a nice little royal, well, not a royal fork, but a fork nonetheless. It is a utensil. I mean, so at this point, we're just trading. One of the many chess things that works just fine in Shogi is what Levi Rosman Gotham Chess calls danger levels. So you can always, if you've got a piece threatened, you can often find a way to threaten a piece of roughly equal value. Like, this actually is not bad for me, because now I have a much clearer way to get an attack going on the other side's king. Okay. This is definitely much more forward moving than previous games. Chat widgets so that I can see how much time my opponent has left. Yui-chan has 6 minutes and I have 6 minutes. We're actually more or less equal in that regard. I heard you had an earthquake in your neck of the woods just recently. Hope everything's... I hope everything's okay. Ah, forks. That's annoying. Not entirely insurmountably annoying, but not happy with it. Well, that sounds like things didn't go quite as bad as they could have then. Okay, これ攻撃ができるかどうかはちょっとOh, that sucks. Hopefully it won't take too long to get that sorted. Okay, now we do have a bit of a time difference opening up. Yi-chan Yi-chan's minute, it has a minute on me. Well, now 30 seconds. We'll work on that. Excellent. まだもやそんなうっかりで
2分30秒
Okay. Although this is certainly unfolding somewhat less embarrassingly for me. My winning chances aren't looking all that great at the moment. We'll see.
Ah, cool.
1分30秒
Time for some dirty flagging.
1分
Oh, cool. Well, we've got an hour left to go over here, so... Oh, come on, mouse.
30秒 20秒 10秒
Yeah, not winning this
時間
one.
切れ
Although it was still a better loss than the other ones that I've had today. Okay, we'll play one more and then we're gonna look at some videos.
ご機嫌中飛車
片身のが、なんかこういう
片身の学
のができてさ、これから合銀効果を発動します。これから風対銀の交換を行います。まずソードの対価とは言えないんだけどな。
差外行為防止の観点からすればやばくなくはないけど何とかします。Okay, interesting. Oh shit! That was like the one move I shouldn't have. I definitely needed not to do, and I just did it. Because that was the only defender on my Kaku. ふんどしのけgoing reasonably well on time. 1977、99はほとんど同じくらいの時間が残ってるんで、
お前の勝ちだ。
棟梁 Okay. Well, resignation. Okay, and with that, we're going to switch over. See what we've got in the world of video things to look at for the last 45 minutes to an hour of this. Gaikokujinにとって意味不明な日本語の文章が意外すぎる. Okay, I'm very curious about this.
これは本当に日本に来たらマジでこのシチュエーションになっちゃうと思うわ。
So this is sentences that, like Japanese sentences that it surprises Japanese people, or at least the author of this channel, Kevin something or other, do not compute to foreigners.
最強のフレーズだよ。一番いいね。祭り。どうもこんにちは。
英語を勉強中。アメリカ生まれ育ち。ケビン。Okay, Kevin's the one. Kevin's the guy in the middle. I've never seen this channel before. 普通の日本人。かけ。Okay, so guy on the left, Yama, is someone studying English. The channel's Kevin is in the middle, born and raised in the US, and then Kake on the right is just, according to the captions, regular Japanese person.
おかげです。山です。日本人には当たり前でも外国人には意味がわからない。
Okay. Let me see, what subtitles have we got here? Okay, original Japanese. Oh, okay. Oh, no, not fucking, not that horrible dubbing shit. Subtitles. Okay. Well, there are Japanese subs on this, but not English ones, so I will try to explain as we go. 日本人には当たり前でも外国人には意味がわからない。日本語のフレーズ. Japanese phrases that Japanese people take for granted and foreigners do not understand. Okay, I'm going to be very curious about these.
日本語フレーズ。
そんなものあるんですか？
たくさんありますよ。
たくさんありますか？日本人。
Okay, so Kake, the normal Japanese guy is surprised to hear that such a thing exists. That there are like phrases Japanese people take for granted that foreigners cannot make any sense out of.
は普通に言ってんのに、何その文章みたいな感じになっちゃうってこと？
そうです。あります。まあこの企画で前提条件で言っておきたいのは、日本にしかないコンセプトの言葉。例えば。
Okay, so this first thing, the premise is that there are concepts that don't really exist outside of Japan. Oh god, yes, this first one. I mean, professional translators. As you can tell if you watch Japanese Netflix shows with English subs, professional translators struggle with some of these. Like this one is Otsukare-sama desu. And like translating that is really complicated because English doesn't really do that. Like the closest thing that comes to mind in terms of like a language that has something similar would be German with like Feierabend, except it isn't really Feierabend because Otsukare-sama desu does not necessarily mean it is something that you would only say when the working day is over. So, I mean, there's Turkish, there's like kolay gelsin, which is like may the work come light, meaning like hope the work, and that is kind of like it, but so, sometimes you just say otsukare-sama desu or otsukare-sama or just otsukare, and it's like as a hello substitute. So, which I guess kolay gelsin could kind of work with, but
お疲れ様ですとか、よろしくお願いします。
Oh god, yoroshiku. I mean, I've thought about doing a video where all I do is take clips of Japanese Netflix shows where they say, hey, yoroshiku onegai shimasu or onegai shimasu, and look at all the different ways that phrase gets translated. Because it is a total moving target in terms of translation. Because sometimes it means like you can kind of use it as like please, as a request. Sometimes it is something you say when you first meet somebody. Sometimes it is something you say when you're essentially just asking somebody to go easy on you in some respect. And there are so many different ways that gets translated into English. And like the way it's introduced to English to like non-native speakers in most Japanese courses that I'm familiar with yoroshiku onegai shimasu, is like as like nice to meet you, which it kind of does function as in some cases, but that creates more confusion down the line because 99 times out of 100 that you will see yoroshiku onegai shimasu, it does not mean nice to meet you, and it will sound really weird to you if you think that's what it means.
いただきますとかね。そうそうそう。もうどう頑張っても訳せない言葉ってあるじゃない。
ねえ、どう頑張っても訳せないって本当ですよ。ネットフリックスの字幕を見れば、それは一目見ればわかるもんですよ。だって悪い翻訳は実際にできるけど、
本当にいい状況に当てはまった翻訳はできないんです。I mean, it is true, like the only other language I can think of that has even some parallels with this would be Korean. Korean has a few of them that are actually almost identical. Like you have like chai putake, which is basically yoroshiku onegai shimasu in a lot of ways. But it is really hard to translate this
そ
stuff.
れね似たようなのやったからね、そうじゃないと。
そういうもんじゃないです。実際に具体例ちょっと見ていきましょうか。
はい、
じゃあ早速紹介していきたいと思います。
はい、
俺はオレンジジュース。
Yes. Yeah, this is a great example of a thing the Japanese grammar does. This, well, although thinking about it, at least in some variants of English, we do this too. Like this says, 俺はオレンジジュース. Which sounds, if you do not understand the way Japanese does things, like he's saying he is orange juice. But, and that can be confusing. Although, less confusing, I think, than sometimes is assumed. Because you do hear people say this in English. Like, if somebody comes in who was, like, picking up people's, takeaway orders or something, and they're like, okay, I've got a kebab here, I've got a biryani, I've got a chicken curry, and then somebody will say something, yeah, I'm the biryani. And nobody hears that and thinks, oh, this person is a delicious collection of rice and seasonings and fruit and like lamb or chicken or something like that. They understand that they're saying, I am the person who ordered the biryani. But we don't say that because that's a lot of words and we're lazy.
これ例えば飲食店に行ってファミレスにいますと、店員さん来て、じゃあ僕アイスラテでみたいな感じで、俺オレンジジュースで、俺はアイスコーヒー。この文章めっちゃ
Yeah, I mean, and actually, really, 俺はオレンジジュースで is even, I think, is actually probably for non-native speakers going to be a little bit more complicated. Because if you're going the literal understandings that are given to you in classes about like how de works, it seems like you are suggesting that something be done to you using orange juice, but it leaves open what the thing is that you are asking to have done to you. Of course.
めちゃくちゃ日本人にとっては普通じゃないですか。
言うね。そう。いくらでも言う。
これ英語に訳すと、俺はオレンジジュースって、I am orange juice になるわけよ。
ああ、なるほどね。
私自身はオレンジジュースですって言ってるから、それをパッと聞いて。
いや、それはちょっと違いますよ。そうでない、そういう言い方を使う状況は確かにありますよ、英語で。でも違います。
みたいな。
どういう意味？
どういう意味？
使える場合はちょっと違いますけど。
そうで、やっぱ日本語を学ぶときに、同じように日本人が英語を学ぶときみたいな感じで、オレンジジュースってなっちゃうじゃんって思うっていうことは結構難しいってことこの文章。
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this is something that actually, it seems to me, probably creates more complication or at least mirth in this particular case. When Japanese speakers, native Japanese speakers, who have like sort of a B1 English, find themselves in a situation where they would normally, where, they have to use the English, and then they say, yes, I am orange juice. And the waiter's like, dude, you're not, you're not though, right?
気づきが必要というか、知識がちょっと必要だよね、ここには。理解するには。何々はっていうのは、今みたいな俺はオレンジジュース以外にも、例えば夏はビールだね。
夏はビール。Yeah, I mean that sort of construction. That is a thing you can just do in Japanese that makes Japanese so user-friendly when you understand it, but it makes it a real pain in the ass to translate. Because literally this means, as for summer, beer. What you're saying is that beer is a thing you associate with the state of affairs that is summer. Like,
Summer means going and having a beer or something like that. But it takes, you have to really get used to that as a non-native speaker.
ああ確かに
Summer is beer? みたいなね。
春はあけぼのとかね。
パンケーキは太るとか。やっぱり。
Yes, like somebody, if you gave that to like probably like second or third year Japanese language students who've learned it in sort of the conventional way, they would probably say that this means that pancakes get fat. When in fact, what this is actually saying, pankeki wa futoru. The futoru is not something that which means to get fat. Futoru is not something being done by the pancake. The pancake is the setting in which futoru is happening, essentially. I mean, wa has this vague vibe thing that it takes a very long time, I think, for non-native speakers to fully grasp.
それに関してはもうなんかよくある。
よく聞くよね、こんな。
パンケーキが太る。
パンケーキが太る。
ってことみたいなね。
そう思っちゃうよね。省略されてるねところがあるじゃない。パンケーキを食べると太るよねみたいな。
Yeah.
その省略が実は学んでないというか、日本語を学んでる人とかは。
確かに。もう日本人的にもなんか省略してる感覚すらあんまりないぐらい。
Yeah, he's saying, okay, so Kevin is saying really, foreign learners of Japanese don't really learn a lot of these abbreviations, and Kake is saying, yeah, actually Japanese people probably don't actually even see this as abbreviating. It's just a thing you say, it's just a thing you say.
パンケーキを食べた人が太る。
パンケーキを食べた人が太る。I mean, that is like an attempt to sort of broaden, fill in the blanks that are left by pankeki wa futoru, except that it suddenly turns it into like a very specific sort of situation. Like a person who ate a pancake is getting fat, like something like that, or the person, like that. This is a strange observation you're making. What is this, fucking Willy Wonka's chocolate factory?
でもそういうふうにも思えないぐらいなんかね普通の文章だよねパンケーキは
主語というか目的語みたいな、それが省略されてることが非常に多いらしいですね、日本語はね。
確かにね。たまに出てくるねみたいな話じゃないからさ。めっちゃあるもんね。半分ぐらいこういう文章なんじゃないか。
いやマジで確かに。いや溢れてるよね。確かに。これから紹介していくやつもベースを例えばなんか同じ原因っていう可能性も全然ありますね。
ああそうなんだ。こういうことね。コンセプトの問題じゃなくて文法上っていうかなんか言い回しみたいな。
Yeah. I mean, there are like two situations that create massive difficulties for translators and people just getting used to the language. Like, one is grammatical things like being able to say pankeki wa futoru yo, and you're not saying that the pancakes are getting fat. And the other is, just concepts like otsukare-sama, gokurou-sama, お邪魔します。
続きまして、5時になるっていうフレーズですね。
5時になる。
例えば、今何時？あ、5時になるって言った時と、いつ帰ってくるのよ。5時になるって。
Yeah, literally like becomes 5 o'clock.
5時になるなんだけど、違う意味というか、なんか最初の方はさ、It's about to be 5 o'clock。で、2個目は It's going to be 5 o'clock みたいな。I'm coming home at 5 o'clock っていうことで。
そうね。
その
私が帰ってくるのは5時になるの略語とか。
絶妙に違う漢字が難しい。
確かに。
なる。
なるほど。
難しいね。
1個目ってさ、まだ5時じゃないって認識だよね。
そうだね。もう間もなくなるってこと。
Yeah, 5時になる. Because you can say this in various situations. You can say like, somebody says, 何時ですか? 5時になります.
which means like it's like it's not quite 5 yet, but it's about to be. But then you can also say 帰ってくるのはいつ？やっぱ5時になるか。You know, like, I guess it's gonna be like 5 o'clock.
4時58分とかぐらいだったらそういうふうに言うよね。
It's about to be 5 o'clock っていう表現はあるからさ。
そういう役なんだって思えることはできるけど、見分けがつかないっていうか。そうだよね。
Yeah, or just before 5.
時刻が5時になるのと俺が5時に帰ってくるっていう、そう主語が違うんですよね。
そうだね。
時間な感じするけどね、その文章の主語。
確かに確かに。
俺が帰ってくる時間が
そうだね
5時になるっていう。
Yeah, I mean this is the thing because like I mean this is something you have to get used to as a translator working with Japanese, and also just as a person learning to speak it, is that because a lot of things get just dropped out of the sentence because they're implied, you have to understand, you have to kind of work out what the function of the remaining things is. 5時になる. Okay, what's the subject? You know, is the subject 5時? You know, what, you know, and why is it nodding?
考えれば考えるほど分からなかったけど。
確かに。
でもやっぱ英語にすると変になる。そう同じにならないんだよ。
そうなんだ。帰ってくるのが5時になるってさ、別に4時58分に帰ってくるって言ってるんじゃないもんね。
Yeah, because in the second verb where it's like, when are you coming back? 5時になる. It's he's saying that does not mean that you expect that it's going to be just short of 5 o'clock. You're saying that it, i.e., the like state of affairs of me coming back, is likely to be 5 o'clock. It's like expressing a probability.
未来に帰ってくるっていうニュアンスっていう感じだよね。だから違う意味なんだよね、多分ね。
確かに。
意識したことないよね。
ないね。これ難しいこと。
難しいね。まあそれが分かってればさ、英語で文章を組み立てることはできるだろうけどさ、そもそもその見分けがつかなかったらもう無理だよな。
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely, he's saying, you know, if you understand how this works, you could probably say this totally in, お会計は3000円になります。でもまだなってないよ。だから支払わない。ただで食べていきます。Yeah, this is a very common phrase Brian has pointed out. It's like, お会計は3000円になります。Your, like, the total will be, we have this kind of too. We have, like, that'll be 3,000 yen in this case. Sometimes even for things that you have already consumed. And of course, nobody in English either takes this as meaning it does not cost 3,000 yet. So if I just get out of here in a hurry, it'll be free.
鈍いちゃう。どっちかってしかないよね。そうだね。
そうだね。
難しい。確かに見分けつかないかね。
続きまして、旦那さんはおいくつですかっていうフレーズなんですけれども、
難しいなこれ。
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can like leave off everything. I mean, if you don't mind sounding like an absolute barbarian, I suppose you, Oi, コーヒーだ! You know, it is coffee. And everybody will understand that you want coffee and also that you're being kind of a prick about it.
これはね、翻訳すると、How many is your husband? なんだよ。
おいくつがね。
I mean, in fact, in the Japanese dub of Pulp Fiction, which I practically know by heart, that first scene where in the restaurant, he goes, ガールソン、コーヒーだ! ガールソンって男のことよ? It is coffee, but everybody understands that what is being said is that the order is coffee.
何人いるんですか旦那さんはみたいなそうなっちゃうのねこの考えるとその
Oh wait, I missed
っていうフレーズだ
旦那さんはおいくつですか Yes. Although I have to say, I mean, at least the way I was taught, the first way I learned ikutsu was to mean like how old. I did not. I learned I learned that it meant other things after that. But yes, I mean, if you start out from the idea that it is a way of saying how many, it does kind of say like this phrase, "旦那さんはおいくつですか?" Like how many husbands have you got?
なんですけれども、
はい
難しい
3人でよ。
これはね、翻訳すると、How many is your husband? なんだよ。
おいくつがね。
そう、何人いるんですか
Yeah, I mean, and I imagine it has probably happened that a learner has said something like, 旦那様はいくらだ、おいくらですか? Like, how much for your husband?
旦那さんはみたいな質問になっちゃうのね、この考えると、その。
Since いくら and いくつ like they both, if you translate them, they're both like how much or how many, but they don't mean the same
なる
thing.
ほどね。
初級日本語者にすると。
初級日本語者に
そうそう。で結構
初級日本語者。
失礼な質問って言ってさ、
確かに。
何人旦那いんのよあなたみたいな。浮気しまくってんでしょみたいなね。っていう声がありました。
確かにリンゴはいくつあるでしょうとか言うもんね。
確かに。リンゴはおいくつですかって。
Yes. And then have you in Korean? Once you get used to ninaru in Japanese, in Korean they change it around. There's so many things where the particles work basically the same as Japanese, but specifically with teda, which is naru, they're not, because in Korean you do not mostly say ninaru. You say ga naru. You know. 그는 변호사가 되겠습니다. 변호사가 되겠습니다. 彼は弁護士がなります. It is treated as a subject rather than as a destination, essentially.
聞いてきたらね、5個とか
That took a lot of getting used to for me.
そうだよな。
旦那さんおいくつですか
一人ですけど。
一人ですけど。
いやそうなのよ。
こいつ何聞いてんだってね。
確かに。
でもいくつって言うもんね。坊やいくつとかね。
言うよね。
坊や how many? って聞いてるからさ。
分析していくつっていうのがこうかぶってるところと外れてるところがあるっていうことなんだね。ハウメニーとか。
でそれで言うとさ、坊やいくつって聞いてさ、3つとか言うしね。
言うんだよね。
確かに3歳のことをね。
僕3つってどういうことってなるの？
僕3つ。There are 3 of me.
その会話謎だろうね。
確かに
5つっていう5歳の子が
言う気がするな。
言うか。
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that too. Like, I like that kids in sort of the single-digit age range will sometimes, instead of saying number plus sai for their age, will say, because it is ikutsu, they will say like mitsu, nanatsu, or something like that.
それでやっぱ9まで1つ2つってさ9までしかないじゃん。確かにね。急に10からそのルールが使えないことになるっていう。
Yeah.
でもいい夢だよな、きっと。
ね。確かに。これ3つは結構聞く気がするんだけど、7つとかあんまり聞かないかもってちょっと思って。
いやわかるわかる。
なんかね。
See, this I bet is something. I mean, one of the interesting areas of linguistic research is like language development and figuring out how certain constructions in certain languages, at what age they begin to be used the way that they're supposed to be, and how long, you know. And I bet, I mean, this seems like the sort of thing that somebody would have studied, because it really comes down to when you at what age, like, native Japanese speaking children work out that ikutsu has this special case related to age where the answer is not a tsu form of the number, but the number plus sai.
幼ければ幼いほどメイクセンスな感じですよね。数で数えるの。
で逆に一つも聞かないかも。言わないからか。一つ
答えられないけどね。
いくつって聞いてんのに、その逆に言うと5歳とかって言ったりするんだもんね。
そうだね。
なんかそっちの方がナチュラルだったりするじゃん。いくつって聞いてんだから何2で答えろよって思うかもね。それも。
続きまして、学生替え玉無料。というフレーズがちょっとあるらしいんだけど。
学生替え玉無料。
これ何この替え玉無料なことじゃなくて。
替え玉無料で。
そう
フレーズが学生替え玉無料ってなんか全然繋がんねえみたいな。
Yeah, like every single thing in this phrase, like there, like all of the information that you might need is, in fact, implied.
そうなの？
学生替え玉無料。
こんなんだってもうね、一番使う日本語でしょ？
それか煮卵かどっちかだ。
この替え玉っていう文字がまず理解されてない人が多いね。
替え玉が。
そう、Google 翻訳すると substitution になるんだよ。
ほうほうほう。
代理というか交換とかそういう感じね。
替え玉受験の。
あ、そう。それを考えると、だから学生ってまだこの一人前じゃない料理職人さんのことなのかなみたいな。
Yeah, I mean, and also like kaedama already. I mean, depending on how you look that up, you look at that up and like there's a tama, there's like a ball. It is a replacement ball, a student replacement ball. Like if you find that you're not getting the nutrition you need out of eating students, you get yourself a student replacement ball.
お店の見習いが作ったラーメンの交換は無料ですよみたいな、そう解釈できちゃう。
なるほど。
そう学生のお客様は、ラーメンの替え玉を無料です
ることが
できますっていうふうに書かないでさ、キーワードだけを並べてるじゃない。
確かに。
それがね、なんかもういろんな解釈の余地があって、ちょっと意味がわからないっていうね。
確かに。これと同じやり方っていっぱいあるもんね。この
あるよね。
本来の文章の中から漢字のとこだけをくっつけましたみたいな。
いや、
結構あるよね。
ある。
片側通行とかそういうのも。
片側通行、one way。
さあ、片側しか通行できませんみたいなのがフルセンテンスっぽい感じするよね。
片側は通行しないで出る可能性ってあるもんね。
看板とかも結構なんか右寄れみたいなさ。
Yeah, or like 押しボタン式。
そうだね。そういうのそれ系多いよ。
あ、多いよね。
確かに。歩行者注意。
確かに。歩行者2ぐらい書けみたいなね。
誰がどっちに注意するんだろうってなるよね。
Yeah, there's a sign that you'll see in a lot of places saying 歩行者注意, which literally is pedestrians caution. Except you could read it as meaning that the pedestrians are advised to use caution, or that other people are advised to use caution so as not to hit pedestrians.
注意するのかって思う。
いや、ありえるよ。
分かんないと難しい。
そうだね。
あとこのラーメン屋さんカルチャーも分かってないと難しいですね。これは替え玉無料っていうコンセプトはね、アメリカにはないぜ。
替え玉が無料のところとかなんか硬さとか聞かれたりするしね。
確かにね。
ラーメン屋のさ、お好みはあれ絶対難しいと思う。
あれ難しいよね。
硬め、多め、薄めでみたいな絶対無理だって。
いや本当に
知らなかったらルール。
この3種類選べますからみたいなさ、あれを見ても意味しても分かんなかったりする。
しかもなんか圧力もあるからさ。
厳しい。
借金がチャラになる。チャラ。総裁。This is a very useful. In fact, I mean, このチャラというのは、民法の債務編のほぼ全部の説明になります。概念的には、民法の債務編が目指しているのはいつもチャラだ。不当利得の場合も、契約の場合も、不法行為の場合も、なんか理念上のチャラさも目指しているわけです。
どの場合でも何かゼロが目的だ。チャラチャラになる means like sort of like square. Actually, there is an English word. There is a good English word for this. Like you just say that something, that essentially you're square with. You've squared something. Something is you've squared it with somebody, meaning that the debt that you no longer owe it because it's been sort of leveraged against something else.
最高のフレーズだよ。
一番いいね。
この方はどこでそれを見たのか知りませんが、
借金
危ない気もするけど、
ね、やめとけってそんなうまい話ないぞと。
そんないい話ないだろうね。これはね、ゼロになるというかさ、
ね、
まあもう返さなくていいみたいな、そのコンセプトは全然理解できるんだけど、そのチャラになるとか、そのチャラっていう言葉が、例えば、彼はチャラいとか、
チャラい、
服装がチャラついてるとかってなんかこう全部違う意味なのよ。でそのチャラがわからないっていうね。
なるほど。
そうですね。チャラって何なのか。
その服装がチャラいというのはその服はもう全部支払っていて、それに関する債務はもうなくなっているという意味でしょう。
チャラの実態が分かんない。チャラいとチャラついてるのチャラは一緒じゃない？
そう思
う。そこは似てるよね。いけすかない感じで、派手でみたいなね。借金がチャラになるのチャラは何なんだろうね。ね、へっちゃらのチャラとか。
ああ、なるほど。
へっちゃら？
へっちゃらって何？へっちゃらってなんだっけ？
へっちゃらって平気みたいな。
そうだね。まあでもなんかニュアンスはちょっとチャラになると近いがごっちゃい。
お得なクーポンプレゼント。
お得。Yes。
でございます。そのフレーズ。
それも
お得な全然
もう余裕でわかるよね。俺はね。
なんかもう何がおかしいのかがわかんない。
これを英語にすると Great Coupon Gift になりますね。そう出るんですよ。
あ、そうなんだ。
お得って。
Yeah, so many very difficult to translate phrases come in the form of marketing. Especially because English words are used in Japanese marketing, and they are often used in ways that English speakers will not be familiar with them.
ちょっと違うね。
ああ、確かに確かに。
しかもプレゼントって動詞なのか名詞なのかわかんない。
ああ、確かに。
これはさ動詞として使ってるじゃん。
そうだね。
本来はお得なプレゼントをあなたにプレゼントします。いや、すいませんね。お得なクーポンをあなたにプレゼントしますって言ってるでしょ。
そうだね、そうだね。
でもこのフレーズだけを見ると何も知らなかったらそういうなんかクーポンプレゼントっていうものというか、
ああ、確かに確かに。
その感じがちょっと難しいという。
なるほどなるほど。
お得なっていうのもね、グレートって出てくるんですよね。
お得って言わないの？
お得ってね、あんま訳しづらいんだよな。
あ、そう。
お得意とか。
なんだ。
Good bargain とか言うんだけど、でもその形容詞的な感じでは使えないんだよね。
なるほど。そう。
超すごいクーポンとしか言えない。
いや。
結果的に同じ意味になってるというか、心の中ではお得なんだろうなって日本人で言うとなってるけど、お得なと直接的に言う。
Yeah, I mean, you could actually look at this, and if you didn't know, you could also think it is otokui. Because that is also something you might see. Actually, otokui coupon presento also kind of makes sense. Because it would be, because otokui-sama is using the same kanji here. But with an additional couple of them, is like a regular. And you might have some sort of coupon presento for an otokui-sama. But you take away the I, and suddenly it's otoku. And actually that somehow complicates things more.
言える言葉があんまないっていう。
そう、得したぜとか
言えない。
言うけどね、よくね。
そうだね。
お得な情報とかね、めっちゃ言うけどね、日本語だとね。
それ訳すの難しいかも。
いい情報とさ、お得な情報。
Yeah, because toku on its own can mean like just beneficial. It can mean that there is some sort of benefit. It can also mean that something is permissible.
I mean, there are so many different there are so many different directions toku can go in.
でなんかちょっと違うもん。
そうだね。
なんかね。
お得ってやっぱお金のことだったり。
そうだよね。やっぱりね。
金銭的メリットがあるみたいなね。
ね。
Like, I mean, the way that merit is merito, kinsenteki merito. There is financial merit, and like merito here means like somebody's interest in doing something.
なんか少ないこの労力で大きなリターンがあるっていうニュアンスがお得に含まれてるもんね。これは伝わらないと難しいんだ。
そうだね。
いや気がつかないね言われないと。
聞かないよねこういうのね。続きまして、店員さんのこの一言ですね。店内ですか？でございます。
Yes, as in for here. Actually, it surprises me that that would be a hard one. I mean, yeah, if you haven't heard anything before, I mean, the first time is always going to be complicated. But if you know ten and night in store, I mean, in English we do say for here. In other languages, it's like para servir, para llevar, mitnehmen. I mean, that surprises me that that would be a hard one, actually. Because all this means is, like, for here, as in, you know, if you're ordering, let's say, 店内でお召し上がりですか? As opposed to 持ち帰り, which is to go. But,
これはね、
そんなことむす
日本に来たら絶対出会うだろうし、
そうね。絶対出会うね。これを訳すと、Are you in store? っていうふうになりますから。
見りゃわかんだろ。
そう、絶対イエスになっちゃう。この質問、外なわけない。
Are you in store?
ここで話してんだから。
バカにしてんだかこいつはっていう。
そうね。確かに。
省略系なのかなやっぱ。
まあそうだね。主語というかサブジェクトが内形だよね。あなたが食べるのは店内ですかみたいな感じなのか。
あなたは店内。
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like for English speakers, I would be surprised if that takes too long for many of them to get, because we say the exact like if you go to like a fast food place, they'll be like for here to go. It's just much. They just say it much. It takes many more syllables to say it in Japanese many of the times.
ご利用ですかみたいな、そういうののなんか省略なのかな。確かに。でもなんかただ消えてるわけじゃないしねこれって。省略したことによってなんか変わってるもんね。なんか店内ですかっていう。
店内で食べるっていうオプションとテイクアウトというオプションがあって、まあその2つの違いを抽出してどっちですかって消えてるみたいなもんだからさ。
そうだね。でも店内っていう概念。
そうだね。そう。
店内で食べるということを店内と呼んでる。みたいなニュアンスだよね。
店内から持ち帰ります。
そうね。
確かにそういう発想なのかもね。店内持ち帰りみたいなこう書いてあって、こっちですかって聞いてるっていうね。これ難しいよね。
これはマジで意地悪だよな。
そのつもり全くないんだけどね。意地悪したつもりなんで。
もうちょっと説明してくれよって思うよね。何を聞かれてるかもわかんないわ。俺多分ほぼ習いたてでお店入って店内ですかって言われたら何がですかってなるよね。
確かに確かに。入ってきてはいけなかったのかな。
いや。
店内なんですか。店内。本当に日本に来たら、マジでこのシチュエーションになっちゃうと思うわ。
続きまして、チラシで見た一言ですね。エアコン買い替え祭り。
エアコン買い替え祭り The Air Conditioner Replacement Festival.
あるよね、こういうのあるよ。あるあるある。
こんな祭りがあるのかっていうね、ふうになれるかと思っちゃうよね。
いや。
こんなフェスティバルで、みんなが一斉にこんな使えるっていう。
Again, I mean, it's as I said, a lot of these are marketing language.
フェスティバルがあるんじゃないかっていうね。
7月1日から30日までみたいな。長いね。
エアコン買い替え祭りは七夕と言います。
めっちゃ面白いやつ。
確かに。あんま言わないんだそういうなんかキャンペーンみたいなことじゃん。その祭りって。
日本ってすごいね、祭りでくくることが多い。祭りとか感謝祭とかさ、なんかこう。
確かに。祭りを結構。
いや、感謝祭。Yeah, except it's like お得意様感謝祭. We're having a Thanksgiving, but only
だから軽い感じでいろいろ使うからね。
そうだよね。
確かに。今回あ、じゃあうちも買い替えなきゃいけない。こんな祭りがあるってことはっていう。そういうのを想像しちゃうんだ。やっぱ祭りって言われると。
そうだね。
めっちゃやってるよな。
確か
カツオ祭りとかやってるもんね。
に。で、さ、春の大祭り。
そう祭り。
プロ祭りみたいな。言ってるよね。
マグロ祭り。
ね、あ、食べなきゃいけないのかなみたいなね。初心者だとやっぱお祭りっていう慣れてきたら祭りっていうのはそんなことじゃないっていう。
そうだね。
うん、
マーケティング用語というかね、なんかね、キャンペーン的なね、感じのニュアンスってのは分かるけど、パッと見分からないっていう難しいね。これもね。
Okay. It's time to wrap up for today. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And if you did, you'll be happy to know. Sorry. You'll be happy to know. Fuck. Yeah, that's basically how this day has gone. That I will be back tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. US Eastern Time to play some Shogi and talk about language stuff. I look forward to seeing you all then.